Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Messick here with your daily announcement. Today is Monday, November 16th, 2020. Today is a remote learning day. Please be sure that you are tuning in to your teachers today at 9:20. They will also be pushing out activities for the afternoon on Google Classroom. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The weather today looks like it's going to be nice outside, boys and girls, so when you get off your class with your teacher, it might be a great day to go outside and play. Let's see, we have no birthdays today. A special announcement, just a reminder that on Monday, next Monday, Maroon Group comes into school, and on Tuesday, the Gold Group will be coming to school. There will be no school next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday in celebration of the Thanksgiving holiday. All right, now it's time for our school rules. Please repeat after me. I promise to A. Act safely. B. Be a friend. C. Choose manners. D. Do my best. All right, boys and girls, I have a read aloud with Mrs. Lingo. Enjoy your day, and I will see you tomorrow.
A Turkey for Thanksgiving, written by Eve Bunting and illustrated by Diane DeGroat. I'm reading this story to you today because it's actually one of my favorite stories for Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy it. It was Thanksgiving morning. Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes a chair that's straight up and down, Mr. Moose said. Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? Mrs. Moose set two paper pilgrims, one at each end of the table. She placed the paper turkey with its great fan of a tail between the candles and stood back. They look good, my dear, Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone has a turkey for Thanksgiving. Everyone but us. Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moose's head. Well, that won't do. I'll go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving. Mr. Moose put on his cap and went out. Mist wandered through the trees. The cold made his nose water. Rabbit picked his head up from his hole. Mr. Moose, is it dinner time? Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one. Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. I'll come too. Moose's warm breath hung white in front of him. Snow crunched under his hooves and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. I see the goats, Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spit out the tin can he was chewing. Is it dinner time? He called. Not till I find a turkey, Mr. Moose said. We saw one down by the river, Mrs. Goat told him, and Mr. Goat added, a fat one. The goats leaped down from their perch. We'll show you. Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking round as a fur ball in his winter coat. Is it dinner time? He bellowed. First, I have to find a turkey, Mr. Moose bellowed back. There's a turkey nest on the riverbank, Sheep called. Wait for me. The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them, a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding under the brush. "It's you," he said, and put his quills down. "We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose," Mr. Moose explained. "Do you want to come?" "I'm slow," Porcupine said. "Pick me up on your way back." "Who'd want to pick you up?" Sheep asked and laughed his bleat of a laugh. "I'll wait," Porcupine said to Mr. Moose. They saw Turkey's nest right away, and Turkey himself peeking over the top of it. "Turkey, Turkey," Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. "Ugh!" Turkey blundered from his nest and ran. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. "Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner." Turkey ran faster. He has some signs here that say, "Do not disturb. Come back after Thanksgiving. No turkey here." Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's neck. Turkey's tail brushed crumbs of snow behind him as he tried to fly. "Too fat," Goat said. Turkey's legs bent in the middle as he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head and smiled his great toothy smile. "I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey." Oh, poor Turkey. Look at Mr. Goat. He's holding a fork in his hand. He helped Turkey up. "My wife won't mind that you're too fat," he said. "Let's go. It's getting close to dinner time." They marched Turkey in front. "I'm sorry about this, for I can see you don't want to come," Mr. Moose said. "But I must insist. A promise is a promise." Remember, he promised his wife he would bring a turkey for Thanksgiving. There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's door. Inside, the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. "Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose," he said. "Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine. And ta-da!" He pushed Turkey around in front of him. "For you, a turkey for Thanksgiving." Mrs. Moose clapped her hooves. "I'm so happy to have you, Turkey." "Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything is perfect." "Shall we sit?" Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. "Let's." Mrs. Moose pointed. "Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here, and look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of turkey." A chair?" Turkey stammered. "Right next to me," Mrs. Moose said. "Light the candles, Mr. Moose." They have a chair at the table for Turkey. I think he thought they wanted to eat him, but they really don't, do they? There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since summer. There was willow bark and cured grasses and wild parsley. There were pressed leaves, thin and pale as new ice on a pond. That doesn't sound like my kind of Thanksgiving dinner. But then again, we're not animals like they are. "I hope you find something here to your liking, Mr. Turkey," Mrs. Moose said. "I wasn't sure of your taste." "You are so kind to worry about my taste," Turkey said. "I thought you'd be worried about how I would taste." "Heavens, no!" Mr. Moose smiled his big-toothed smile and filled everyone's cup with cold water. "It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving." Turkey's waddles wobbled. "It's even nicer to be at your table and not on it," he said. "Happy Thanksgiving, everybody." Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. A turkey for Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed my story.